Okay, so thank you, Anne. You started with that question, and I have also been pondering on that because when I was asked to come here and talk to you, I was thinking to myself, what am I going to talk to you about? And since I know this is the session that is organized by Soft Skills Organization, I was saying, what can I tell you that is related to soft skills? So I thought of something that has changed my life or changed the lives of people I know, and I said, I'm going to come and talk about this. So that's how I came up with that question. And the last time we were here, Isaac, that's the last time I attended this session, Isaac was talking about how to go into the interviews. And since we are in that direction to career growth and acquiring opportunities and all that, I said, okay, so let me talk about something that is related to opportunities, getting job opportunities or getting any other opportunity in that case. So I thought of my life, the way I've lived, the things I've achieved or anything I've achieved, and I thought, what is the one thing that has helped me a lot to reach to this level? And one thing I came up with was digital skills. Digital skills, and then having people around, or the community. That's what I call the community. Those are two things that have changed everything for me. And maybe the environment and all that, but it's also a part of community. So I said, let me come and talk to you about this and how it's important in your personal growth, in your career growth, and so that you can also help other people grow their careers as well. So maybe before we start, I would like to excuse myself. I did not have enough time to prepare a presentation, so I'll have to read from this document. This is the one I used to prepare. So I will not be having a PowerPoint presentation. We'll use this one. And the second is I will share it with you. I will share this document with you so that you can go through it and see if you can use it yourself. So if you don't know me, my name is Chishahai Songa Ashir. Most people call me Ashir Songa, and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a content creator. Most people follow my LinkedIn newsletter. I have started writing every week there, and then I'm also a software developer. So that's mainly what I do. I also do technical support, but this is who I am. And the objective of the session of today, basically, before we start, you have to understand why you are here and what you can expect from the end of this session. At the end of this session, what I want you to go home with is you should understand why you need digital skills and which skills do you need to grow your career and grab opportunities. And the second, you should understand how the community can help you grow your career and how you can use that community, how you can make use of that community, how you can get those communities. We talk about all of that in this session. And I assume, as we are here, I assume that everyone who is here has a goal, something you want to achieve, and you have maybe a skill, something you have, you know how to do, but you want to make use of it. Maybe most people who come to me, they say, I know how to build websites, but I'm not getting opportunities. I want to have job opportunities. Maybe I want to be able to win the national exam with higher marks. So I assume that if you are here, you have a goal. If you don't have a goal, you have to find this goal. What is that one thing that you want to achieve? Because if you learn how to do something without any direction, any way you want to get, you're going to find that it's going to be hard for you. But if you want to reach a certain goal or a certain skill, you're going to find that fitting what I'm going to tell you here into that goal is going to be easier for you than if you don't have it. So if you don't have a goal, I would encourage you to find that goal before we proceed from here. And my objective, my goal here is to help you understand. Okay, I've already talked about that, the objectives, why I'm here. I want to help you understand how digital skills and community can change everything for you. And I hope that by the end of this session, everyone is going to have an idea about how digital skills can help them reach their goals, or use their skills that they have. And to start, I wanted to talk about the history of digital skills, how it started and all that, but we are going to summarize it. I saw that I have 25 minutes. I wanted to summarize this before we start. One thing that you need if you want to grow your career is information. The first thing you need is information. So if you want to grow your career, you need information. Where do I get opportunities? Which job can I be a good fit in? What skills do I need to fit into this role? Who is hiring? That is the information you need if you want to grow your career, maybe finding a job. If you want internship, you need the same. If you want to acquire skills, you need to have information on where can I get these skills? What will these skills help me for? And all of that. So you need that information. And second, you need skills. So if you want to grow a career, you cannot say, I need a job, but I don't have skills. So what are you going to do in that job? So you need skills. So you need skills. You need to have something that you know how to do. So that's the second thing you need. And the third thing you need is networks. Some people say your network is your net worth. The people you know, the people who know you, those are the people that will get you closer to opportunities that you can grab. So if you don't know anyone, so if you find that your network is only people at your level, you're going to find that you are being left behind because you don't have anyone who can pull you up. So you need to find some people who are on the upper level than you are. So that's another thing that you need if you want to grow your career. And then the other thing you need, there are so many things you need. The other thing you need, I chose these four because they are very important. The other thing you need is a way to showcase what you can do and who you are. So I remember when I finished high school, I was very afraid. Where am I going to get the skills? Where am I going to get the job? I'm going to be poor, and all of that. I write this on LinkedIn most of the times. And one thing that changed everything for me was YouTube. When I started making videos on YouTube, everything changed for me. I started having hopes, and because I was seeing people who were reaching out to me, people who were telling me, can I give you a job and all that. So things start to change when you show people what you can do and people know who you are. So these are the four important things that you need if you want to grow your career. So there are so many others you need, but these are the most important: information, skills, network, and then showcase what you can do and who you are. And you can do this, you can get all of this with digital skills and the community the same. You can get it from the community or from using your digital skills. You can use both of them to get this. So we talk about this in details, about how you can use digital skills to acquire information, how you can use community to acquire information. We're going to talk about all of that. So to start, I'm going to start with, I told you I wanted to talk about the history of digital skills, how everything started before there was computers, before there was internet, but I'm not going to go into all of that. Let me just talk about it in a summary. You know, before computers came, maybe before 70s, people were using letters. If you wanted to write to someone, you had to write and send it to them. To store everything, they had to use the physical warehouses. They needed to have where to store information. You go to the office and find they have very big boards with the papers. They take the whole block with they take the whole block and they fill it with papers that maybe they have kept for a couple of years. And when you wanted to learn something, you had to go to the library and maybe spend hours there learning about a topic. You wanted to learn how to do accounting, you go there and you spend hours, maybe days, trying to read books on accounting and all of that. But then the computers came, and that's when everything started to change. They came about 70s. That's when personal computers started to take off, and then you have the digital boom in 2000s. That's when we had some social medias, we had blogs, that's when we had YouTube and all those new platforms that started with the 21st century. That's when those platforms came and everything changed, because you didn't need to go in the library and read for 10 hours or the whole week trying to learn a subject. You could go to YouTube and watch 2 or 3 videos on a subject, and you had an idea that when you go to read, you're not going to need to read the whole book. You started to find people summarizing books in their blogs. You start people sharing their experiences in books. So that's when everything started to change. And you move through the years, and you find that in 2020s and beyond, maybe from this decade and going forward, we have something called AI. Anywhere you go, you will find people talking about AI. Talking about automation, how people are going to lose jobs, and all those things. And the reason I'm telling you this is not just to know history. The reason I'm telling you this is for you to understand, in this history, where do I stand? So everything is changing today. It is changing very fast. It has always been changing. But where do I stand? How do I adapt in this world where everything is changing? So it was in the maybe previous decade, the thing that was being talked about a lot was maybe how to build websites. And so many people got into that today we have so many web developers. And then we go to the time where we had so many people who know how to build websites. I think I talked about this in our previous session in Uganda Technology Community. And you had so many people who know how to build websites. So how do you separate yourself from the list? So the reason I'm telling you this is to understand things are changing. I have to adapt very fast if I want to be competitive at my job. If I want to get a job and I win everyone in the exam, I have to know what's new. And you'll find that in schools, what they're teaching you is still the things maybe from 2010s, the technologies that was being used there. And today, anywhere you go in a company, you find that to have a meeting, they don't need to go to the office. Like me, I'm working from home. I work with clients from all over the world, and I'm delivering. I'm home. So you need to know all of that. You will find that in the companies, they don't need to keep the big warehouse at the office. They can have just a one-room office, and they have the data for maybe 1,000 years. Okay. I don't know if any company has been there for 1,000 years, but you find that they do not need to keep the big warehouse of data. They can keep all the data on the cloud, and then they have everything becomes so easy. So if you don't understand those technology, maybe you are in accounting, you are learning accounting, but you don't understand how to use ERPs, you don't understand how to use maybe QuickBooks. So how are you going to fit into that environment if you don't know how to use the software? So when I talk about digital skills, I'm going very fast, but when I talk about digital skills, I'm talking about the basic skills. So there are some basic skills like how to use a computer. I'm surprised that there are still some few people who do not know how to use a computer. Sometimes it's not their fault, because we are still in Africa. We know we do not have the same capacity to buy these tools, but at least as a student, as someone who has been somewhere other, I think you should put in some effort to get to know all these things. You have to know how to use a computer. Maybe not be an expert, but know how to power up a computer. You know how to type on a computer. You know how to search for something on the internet. You know how to do research. You understand how to use internet, maybe internet and computers. You have to understand all of that. And you have also other skills that you need, is skills, digital skills that are specifically needed for your job. So if you are an engineer and you say you are maybe a mechanical engineer and you do not know how to use maybe SolidWorks, that's an example. Or you are in construction and you do not know how to use CAD softwares to design new architectures. So how can you say you are going to fit into today's workplace if you are not training yourself to know all those skills? So when I talk about digital skills, I'm talking about those basic skills. Nowadays, using AI tools is becoming a digital skill, a basic literacy. So you have to understand, how can I go and chat with ChatGPT and get results that I need? That's prompt engineering. So you have to learn all of that. So that's basically for for digital skills, the skills you need if you want to get to the job and become competitive on the job market. And the other thing is, I find some people who do not know how to use Google Drive. They do not know how to use Google Meet. They do not know how to use those simple tools. You find that someone is not able to join maybe this meeting because they do not know how to use Google Meet. So I think those are some of the basic skills that everyone should have. Because if you are going to go to a job market and you find a company, they tell you you're going to come to the interview online, you're not going to come to the office, how are you going to join the meeting? So you have to know all of that. So let me jump to the community, and then we talk about all of this in general of this. So I wanted to tell you how things have been changing, so to understand now remote work is the new normal. I wrote this here so that I can remember to say it. And let's talk about the community, and then we'll talk about it in general. Let's talk about the community. Do you know so there are some people, some big people, that's how they call them. You find someone is maybe a CEO, someone is a founder of a company, they are someone that you would want to be acquainted with. So it's someone that you would want to be friends with, but you don't have anywhere you can meet with them. So you've tried everything to meet with those people, but you don't have any chance. There is no opportunity for you to meet them. Did you know that you can meet anyone you want if you go to the right communities? By community, I mean everywhere you can meet people and network. So there are different places where you can meet people. So even though there are people with high status, they have somewhere they go to, they meet. So I was watching a guy he's called Dan Martel, and he was saying he is now a CEO of a company that has about 300 million turnover, and he was saying when he was starting, he would go to rooms where everyone is on a higher level than him. So he would go feeling like an imposter, but the next time he would come empowered, wanting to be on their level, and that would make him work very hard. So if you want to build yourself, want to build your career, you need to find those rooms where you will find people who are on a higher level than yours, and then when you go into those rooms, you're going to be motivated, you're going to learn from them. So let's maybe talk about it. But through the people you know, when you get to meet people, the new people, you're going to learn so much from them. You're going to get opportunities from them. I will tell you, since I started working, okay, I haven't had a job for a long time, but I mean, doing a job for a long time, but most of the opportunities I've got were through people I know. Most of them. There are so many job opportunities that you will never see on job boards. People are hiring, but you don't see anyone publishing we are hiring. They only hire through recommendations. They hire through they call people they know. Do you know someone who can do this? And then they say, okay, I know this person, or I don't know. And you find that you never get opportunities because you don't know people. You don't know people who can recommend you. You don't know people who can tell you they are hiring in that company, so you can go there. So through the communities, you're going to find these opportunities. Those opportunities that you cannot find anywhere else. The second is you get access to hidden information and resources. Did you know that the only thing that's from that's what I think there might be more, but I think the thing that someone on the, maybe let's say you are an engineer in a company, but you have your manager of an engineer, you have the CEO of the company, you have so many other things. I mean, so many other people in the company. The thing that differentiates those people, apart from responsibilities and salary, it is access they get. So if you are a CEO, you have higher access to so many things than an engineer, because an engineer will not have access to so many things. So as you grow in a level, you will find you are getting access that you didn't have before. That might be access to information, access to people, access to resources. That is why they say if the president is making certain decision, it's because he knows something that you don't know. So getting access to this information, to the people, to all these things, requires you to be in rooms where those things are being discussed. So if you want to get scholarships, you want to get funding, you want to get investors, you want to get mentorship, go into rooms where those things are being discussed. If you go into rooms where no one is discussing about maybe investing, how will you ever know how to invest? That is why it's so important for you to go into rooms, to go into communities where things you want are being discussed. So, because if you were always with the same people, you are always with the people on the same level, you are going to find that there are information that you are not getting access to. That is why you need to get out of your comfort zone, go to communities. We'll talk about how you get those communities, but I'm telling you why you need to join those communities. And then there are experiences. You can save yourself so many years if you learn from people who have already done what you want to do. If you want to build a company, talk to people who have built companies. They're going to tell you mistakes they made, and you're not going to make them. So how do you meet those people if you don't meet in communities? So you have to always go to those communities where there are people who achieve the things you want to achieve, and then talk to them. You'll find the mistakes they did, successes they have, some of maybe there's so many things they know that you don't know. I talked about the access they have that you don't have, information they have you don't have. So when you talk to them through those communities, you're going to find those experiences they have that you don't have. And when you learn from them, you're going to grow very fast. You're going to have higher growth, maybe grow even better than they did. So go to communities that you can then learn from those people. And the last thing I talked about this is motivation. When you are with the same people, learning the same thing, and not getting out of your comfort zone, not meeting people who are on the higher level, how are you going to get motivated? You are going to keep wishing, but when you go and meet those people, you are going to get motivated because you see what they have achieved. You see you can achieve the same thing. You're going to have their support, and that will propel you to move forward. So join communities and you're going to get all these benefits. And I wanted to highlight some of the examples of the things that were built through communities. So let's talk about Google. Google is one company that was created by Sergey Brin and Larry Page, and they met in Stanford University. This was one community where they met. There is Facebook, and Mark Zuckerberg started building Facebook as he wanted to build a Harvard network where he can connect students from his school at Harvard, and it became Facebook we know today. So this started as part of the community. People helped him. The guy who gave him money was his friend. They were in the same community. And we talk about PayPal Mafia. The PayPal Mafia are the people who started PayPal. They started PayPal, but after they separated, they sold PayPal to eBay. They went on to start other companies like LinkedIn, SpaceX, Tesla, YouTube, and so many other things. So many other companies they started after selling PayPal, because they met in a community where they were working from. okay, it's a big story for PayPal, but the way they met, it was a company called X, that was Elon Musk's company, and another company called Confinity, and then they joined and they became PayPal. So in order for that company to become one and they work together to where they sold it for $1 billion and all that, it's because they knew each other from the same, they were working in the same house. They were competitors but working in the same house, and they decided to merge. So it's because they met through that thing. So networking events is the best way to meet people. We are going to talk about that. Then let's talk about Airbnb. Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia, they met in the design community and then started Airbnb. You know how Airbnb is now one of the biggest companies in the world. So maybe before we talk about how people utilize communities, let's talk about some ways you can get access to these communities, how you can join these communities. I think I didn't put it here, but everyone know a community. Let's start from where you are. If you are a student, you have a school. At your school, you can join clubs. That's the first way to get communities. You can join clubs. That's the first way. Another community is your school, your class. That's the first way. And every time that I talk to students, I say, get out of your class and start going outside. Go and meet people. And it's so very easy. So I think maybe it's because I'm in tech and there has been so many events in tech. But I think in so many other careers, there are going to be different events. I see events in health. Maybe there are so many other events I know because I don't follow those careers. But if you are in a certain career, you have to know what is happening around in your career. If maybe there is going to be an event that's related to finance, if you are in finance, you have to know about that event, and you should not miss when that event takes place, because you're going to meet people who are in finance. Like a few weeks ago, there was Inclusive FinTech Forum. It was a very big event, though it was free to attend. We didn't pay, and there are so many people, CEOs of big companies, companies in Rwanda, companies outside, people starting companies in tech, and joining those events is very good opportunity to connect to those people. Everyone in the event is looking to connect with people. They're looking to listen to the ideas, looking to meet new people. So if you are there, go and connect to those people. So that's another way you get communities. So when you meet people in that event and you take contact, when you get home, don't just keep their contact hidden. Call them or text them and say, we met at this event, can we, and follow up whatever you want to tell them. Say, maybe I want to stay connected, maybe I want to ask you a question, I want you to be my mentor. So many people want to help. So that's another way you can do these things. So, and let's talk about how people land jobs and opportunities through communities. You've met those people in those events. You've maybe built a community. You've built a WhatsApp group of people who attend that event, and now you want to get opportunities from this event. So one thing that I see so many people do is they join a community. You see someone has joined the community, maybe on WhatsApp, maybe on Slack, on Discord or any other community platform, and they become very idle. You are in a community, but no one knows you are there. So how will you get those opportunities if you are hidden? So it's time for you to start being very active. So if you want the community to give you something, give something as well. Be active in the community. There are some people who do this very well. They are Nigerians and Kenyans. I see they do this very well. You find that the community, they're sharing every time. They are asking questions. You ask questions, they reply to you. And every time, if someone asks you, let's say you met with 10 people in an event and you made the WhatsApp group, you said, we are going to keep talking in this group. And after the event, you go home, everyone goes home, and after maybe 2 months, someone asks you, who did you meet at that event? Who are you going to say you met? The person who was very active, the person who shares something every day in the group. You're going to say, I know this person. And when someone shares a lot, you're going to find that you are being curious about them. So what does this person do? Why does he share a lot? And then you're going to go and check them out and maybe find their freelancers. When someone asks you, do you know anyone who maybe can design a website for me? I'm giving examples of website because that's what I do. But someone will ask you, do you know anyone who can design a website for me? You say that person because he or she's the only one you know. You don't know any other person because you've seen him share a lot. Now you got to know him. He's always near. Whenever someone asks you something about, that person can do, he is the one you think about the first time. So when you join a community, you don't have to be very idle. Just go share. Maybe if you find something funny, you share it. If you find something useful, you share it to the people. If they ask a question, engage. If they share information, engage in that information, respond. You're going to find that there are so many people who become very idle in groups and no one knows they're there, and they say this group is not useful at all. So that's not how you can leverage these communities. So if you want to network is not just about keeping contact, it's about getting to know people and they get to know you. So the way you do that is through engaging. So how can you do that if you're not engaging with people? So, and communities are not only online, there are physical communities like Toastmasters. If you want to be a very good public speaker, if you want to be a very good communicator, I think Toastmasters is a very good community to join. If you want to be a good debater, iDebate, unshared about iDebate, but I think iDebate is for students, but I think anyone can join. I'm not sure. But those are some of the communities that you can join. And can give you testimony maybe. I saw Valente is also part of iDebate. They can give you testimonies how that community helped them a lot. I know JD Damascene, the co-founder of ASO, was also a part of Isomo Academy, and that is also another community that has helped him a lot. So I think getting access to those communities is very important, and it all comes back to your goal. What is it that you want? So if you want to become maybe a product manager, you have to find where are project managers in Rwanda, who are the project managers in Rwanda. So, and then we come back to the digital skills, we connect digital skills with the community. Nowadays, most of the communities are online. So if you want to connect to people, you have to learn how to connect online. So you don't go to social media. I say this all the time. You don't go to social media just to scroll. Go and learn how to use social media to create content. You create content to show people what you can do. You go and learn how can I use Instagram to improve, maybe to build a personal brand. So many people are getting paid so much money through personal brands built on the social media or through communities. So you have to know this information. And as I said, it comes back to your goal. And you can join, you meet people in tech there, you meet some of the people who can maybe give you ideas. You meet some people who have done it before, they can give you ideas. So there's so many things you can do if you want to grow. If you want, let's say your goal is to learn about scholarships. So which communities in Rwanda are sharing opportunities related to scholarships? Maybe you know HEC is trying to, sometimes has scholarships for students in Rwanda, and then you can subscribe to their website. I don't know if they have a subscription way that you can subscribe to their newsletter, but they have a website. You can check it out. Coming back to digital skills, how do you use your digital skills to make use of it to serve what you want out of your life. So I see I'm using so much time, but what I'm trying to say is you can combine digital skills with the community. Nowadays, most of the communities are online. So if you go online and search tech communities in Rwanda, you're going to get tech communities in Rwanda. If you search finance communities in Rwanda, you're probably going to get some, I'm not sure.
Without further ado, let's start with our Q&A session. But hopefully, at least for me, this session was really thoughtful, and I've got to learn lots about networking, not to scroll for the sake of, just bypassing, but technically learning something far beyond scrolling and all that. And it was really a pleasure having you, Mr. Songa. And whoever has a question, you're really free to raise your hand for further explanations along with the session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I am Valente Yiraneza, of course, a debate coach at iDebate Rwanda and communication program manager at ASPO. I just wanted to ask about the things you said about going into events. Usually, of course, we do go into events for connections and also to showcase also our skills and everything, try to connect and see where it reads. But usually the thing I've also tried to recognize of the most of events, for me, I used to go back in the days. As of today, I feel like I dropped could I call it is it a vibe or the vigor to go into events? Is that most of the people there, even though they are looking for connections, but I came to find out you can connect with them there during the event, but later to keep up the communication, it's very that hard, because it is can I call it a hit and run? I don't know. So what could be the best way to secure that long-term communication and relationship? And also usually most of the people in the events, of course, are usually some of them come without even knowing what. I've seen it is common in Rwandan events, most of these free events. They come without knowing what's taking place. As long as they know it's a full day event, they are going to be eating. I'm talking from what I've seen, As long as they know it's a free event, they'll be eating and drinking, and also they'll be given books, they'll be given pens. They come for the pleasure, for the sake of what this could I call extra what? I don't know the best way to put it in, but that's what I've come to find out. And it's that even hard to keep up with the connections you've made. So I don't know how you cope with it so that you can say events are that useful.
Yeah, so the thing you just said is the same feeling that I had, and in my recent newsletter issue, that's what I wrote about, and I wrote about how you can make events useful to you, because I found that when you go to most events, I found the feeling like I'm not getting anything anymore after I went to so many events. So I stopped going to these events, and then after some time I told myself, so I was getting something from this event. Is it because I'm no longer getting something, or is it because I need something more? And then that's when I started having a strategy of saying, if I'm going to attend an event, I have first to find out what this event is about. Again, coming back to your goal, does it support my goal, whatever I want to achieve? If it's something maybe you want to become a software engineer, and it's an event for that way you will meet maybe people who are in software engineering, and you say, okay, I will join it because it can support my goals. And then the second thing is, most of these events have a way you can know people who are going there, and then you say, there are these people who are coming to this event. Who do I want to connect with? And then you make a list of those people. When you go to the event, you find opportunities to talk to those people. And after the event, they give you their contact. And why did you talk to them? Did you talk to them just to talk to them? or did you want to keep them as close friends? For example, I met someone in an event that was in 2022 in January, I guess. So we met at an event, and then we said we connected. We exchanged a contact, and then later we talked after the event, and then we planned to meet. So if you want to be friends with someone, want to keep a long-term relationship, I think a better way is to plan something next. After the event, what are you going to do next? Maybe you can tell that person, I want you to be my mentor. Can we plan to meet after this event? Maybe you make a plan and say, when are you available? And he or she says, I'll be available maybe next week on Saturday. And you say, we meet on Saturday and we talk. So I think it's not about connecting two people just for the sake of it. You have to have a reason. If you're going to an event, you have to have a reason you're going there at an event supporting your goal, or you're going to learn something from there. And the people you connect with, you don't just connect with everyone. That cannot work. You cannot be friends with everyone. You cannot keep connected to everyone. I have so many business cards. Maybe I can show you. I have so many, I don't know if you can see this. I have so many business cards here. Like in all of these people I talked to, like 2010 or I don't know. I talked to very few of them. So if you want to connect with people, I think it's having a goal. Why do I want to talk to this person? And if you want to keep a long-term relationship with them, you plan how you can meet and plan the next thing. Maybe you want them to be your mentor. You want to start a partnership. You plan how you can meet the next time and talk about it. Because in an event, everyone is moving like this. You exchange contact, and the next time you're going to talk about it. So I think that's the best way. You don't have to attend every event. You don't have to attend to meet everyone and connect with everyone. Just choose what supports your goals. I think that's how I can answer your question. I'm speaking on behalf of myself and many others in our generation who are still figuring out our passions and commitments. So that means now you are still exploring. You don't have one commitment. We are eager to explore different paths, but often feel uncertain about where to start and what to focus on. How can events and connections help us discover our interests and find direction in a way that feels meaningful and engaging? Additionally, how can we benefit from these events and build valuable connections with others when we are not yet sure what we want to achieve or pursue? What opportunities or experiences can this event provide that will help us grow even if we don't have a clear goal in mind? This is a very good question. I don't have a direct answer to answer this, but let me tell you, maybe share a bit of my experience. When I was graduating from high school, I was in networking. So I was studying networking, and I graduated. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know anyone who can give me a job in networking, and I didn't know what to do. So I did one thing that I thought can be easy to do. I became MTN agent. I saw the guy who makes videos for new species. He was saying that he is very sad when he sees someone who has studied IT and has computer science degree going to the street and take the MTN number and become an agent. So that's what I did, because I thought that was the only chance. And after some time, I kept making my videos online. So I kept making my videos online. I was making videos teaching people in Rwanda. I had started making lyrics videos, and then I started making videos sharing my opinions just like this. I had started writing on Facebook. So I was trying to do everything because I didn't have one thing that I wanted to do. And then later I joined Andela and became a software engineering now certified. So that's when I started having a direction. So I think if you have a skill, if you have so many skills, you have so many opportunities. You feel like you don't have one thing to do. I would think that your goal would be to find that thing. Maybe it's not something like when you lost a key, you go and find it. This is my key. This is the key I lost. Sometimes you will find something and think this is my passion, and after some time you find maybe it's not, and then you have to find again. So I think your goal can be to enjoy the ride as it is and find your passion as you go. And these events, maybe what these events can do is just as an inspiration. When I went to my first event, I wrote it in my recent newsletter. That was a startup event. It was an event where startups were being awarded with 5,000 Rwandan francs, and I didn't know what startup meant. The word startup, I didn't know what it meant. So what I did, I went there, I just sat, I listened, and I went home with an inspiration. This is startups. So from that day on, I started learning about startups. And then that was in 2021, and in 2022, I was invited to mentor startups at Techstars Startup Weekend. And the skills I used were the skills I acquired since that time I joined that event. So I think if you are trying to find your passion, you don't have to attend every event, but if you can, try to attend some events. You find inspiration, and don't just go there and go home. Try to take notes, and those notes, don't keep them hidden. Go and read them. When you go to somewhere else, take notes and read them, and you're going to find out maybe this is what I can do. And as you keep finding out, you keep doing things, maybe you don't sit idle. If you have some skills, also be using them. I think along that way you're going to find your own thing. So it's not something that comes as losing a key and finding it. It's something that you get as you are living your life. So you're trying something. You are for example, how did ASO start? ASO was not something that we said, okay, maybe the founders will give you a story, but it's not something that people start and say, let's start ASO because this is what we have to do. This is something that started because of maybe some experiences we've experienced in the past. Some of it started because we were in a party and we were going home together and we talked about it, and then ASO lived just like that. So I think as you go through things, you're going to find out that you can do so many things. I didn't start teaching Kinyarwanda because and I have doctorate in Kinyarwanda. I started teaching Kinyarwanda because I wanted to teach French. I wanted to learn French, and I thought the best way to learn French was to learn it while I'm teaching people Kinyarwanda. So I would make video with translations in French, English, and Kinyarwanda. And I was saying, once people watch this video, they're going to learn Kinyarwanda, but I will also be learning French because I'm sharing definitions of these words in French. So I think as you do things, you're going to find out. As you try things, you're going to find out. Just don't stop. Keep trying. You're going to get there. But also don't feel bad because you don't know your passion yet. Just enjoy the ride as it is. So that's my take on that. I think there's so many things you can say about it, but that's what I think for now.